So we got the green Malibu 4-door back in the garage. As if you watched the last video, you know how much trouble we've been having with this Turbo 350. So in this video, we're gonna put a manual transmission in it. So far we got a transmission, bell housing. The one I bought had a shifter on it already. I just went back, set it back to neutral, and readjusted all the arms so it shifts through every gear just fine. We have the clutch pedal set up for a G-body. We have flywheel bolts. We have a transmission mount. We have a brand new clutch. And we have a flywheel. So the only thing I'm lacking right now is the hydraulic throwout bearing from Speedway. But in the meantime, we can get this thing jacked up in the air and we can get the automatic transmission out while we're waiting on that. I don't have the best camera angle down here, but next thing we got to do is get this drive shaft out. We're going to time lapse it again. It's just these 4 bolts and these caps pops right off. Okay, caps are off. Now we're just gonna wedge it out here. We're just gonna wedge it out here. Okay. Now remember, these caps on each side of your U-joint. The fuck is that? They will and just remember, these caps on the end of your U-joint, they will fall off and you'll have little needle bearings everywhere and it's not a fun time. So always put a piece of tape around your U-joint. When you get it pulled off. Well, you should usually use more tape than that. Let me get a little more on there. And you put this on here. Then give her a zip tie around this corner here. Then when you pull the transmission out, it won't dump 20 gallons of ATF all over your floor. Okay. I got the transmission lines off. I got all 4 bolts out of the cross member. I got the drive shaft off and I got a new yoke just zip tied in there so we don't make a mess. I got the torque converter bolts out of the torque converter. So now, let's see, we got a kick down cable, dipstick, and the bell housing bolts, and this automatic should be coming out of here. We've made a small mess, but all the transmission bell housing bolts are out, cross members out, drive shafts out. So I got it held in the air right now with just the jack. So I'm about to pull that out, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. I don't even know if I need to film it. You guys surely know how to pull the transmission out. This says Turbo 350 71 Monty Core. That's real nice. Oh wow. After all the other stuff I found siliconed in, so's the dipstick. Every single thing on this transmission has had silicone on it. 77 Monty 350 turbo core. That's pretty cool. Alright, so we got the factory pedal out. So if you see, there's just a fork that comes down, this pedal mounts in. So you'll mount this pedal the same way, except for on the outside where the nut would be on this one. There's going to be a whole nother pedal right next to the fuse blocks that come down. Fuse block that comes down. But this pedal is about the same, you know, but you know you'll have a smaller brake pedal just like in a manual. You have the same hook up here, washer on each side, and it'll pin it in there. I'll probably show you a little clip of how that's bolted in there. See that little hole up there you can see through? It just bolts between those, and the clutch pedal will be right here now. You know, just hook that brake master right back up to your original pedals. So now we're going to get to bolting those new ones in. Clutch pedals are hung, brakes hooked back up. Now we just got to bolt the transmission up, cut a hole in the floor somewhere around right there. We just bolted the bell housing up, bolted the transmission in to make that hole in the floor. Jack's going to do 4 holes, and then that'll show us where we need to cut this out.
Salfo.
This goes in the back of your crankshaft. This is what the very front of your input shaft goes into. Like that. So we'll get that put in there right now. So if you look at the back of this greasy motor, check that out. Starter bolts too long? Use spacers. Header tube, not the right one? Weld a different one in with your feet. Okay, anyway, this is the back of the crankshaft. This is the pilot bushing. It's going to go right into here. Should have a pretty snug fit. So what I like to do is find you a socket from Harbor Freight that fits right in there, so we can drive that in. Always remember to use a dead blow or a lead hammer. This is a homemade flavor, so we'll get her drawn in there. A couple taparoos that went right in, and you're gonna need that if you're going to a manual transmission. The plan next is to put the flywheel on. Need some bolts. Going with the Dorman kind, and don't forget your blue Loctite and your flywheel. I think this is a smaller one, so I'll have to move this starter over one. Oh shoot. Oh. Alright, them are snug. We'll get the torque them down to spec, and then we'll be setting the clutch up so we can measure the distance from the outside of the mounting surface to the fingers of the clutch. And also the line lock, El Cheapo line lock. Well, that's pretty heavy, really. El Cheapo line lock came in the mail too, so we're gonna figure out where to mount that up. So we can get these bolts in here and try to get a little progress made today. So here's the little pin that they give you to bolt in. It just replaces one of the 4 bolts on the front of the transmission just to make sure your bearing doesn't go back and forth. But see how I was saying the bleeder's right here, so that's, I don't understand why they do that, because there's no way to bleed that from in there. I guess unless you bled it, then put it in. But we're not doing that. So what I did is I was by the 12-inch kit. Just has an adapter here, and then your bleeder here. So then it'll hang out the side down here so you can bleed it from out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that together and get the main AN line for the master cylinder on the tube. I can live with that, I guess. Got a zip tie down here. Got the supply line coming out here. I think it's about time to put the transmission in. Alright, that's close she's going. Have a look inside. Look here, we got 4P all aboard that mirror cut dingo down lined up, and we go down there and look, my arms are dead down now. My arms are dead. I can't feel my fingers. But the 4-speed is in. Okay, so I got the cross member bolted back in. I had to cut this off of over here, and I moved it. It's just loose. Bolted the cross member back in, and then bolted this to the transmission, and then now I just need to tack this in place, because before it was over here for the other transmission. So this one, I'll just get this tacked into place, and then I'll pull it out and then fully weld it. So it lined up really good. I can't believe how good it's gonna look. Oh!
Well, maybe he's doing it on fucking He-Man himself.
Oh, look at that. Slid right in that top.
Fucking drive shaft slamming around in here.
So, after a little bit of measuring, got a hole here under the brake master cylinder and booster here. All blunged a little bit, but the way this master cylinder bolts on, it bolts on flat. So that angle to dangle wouldn't be right. So we had buddy Shane up the road weld me up this bracket, so now should be able to fit it in here something like that, so that it's angled a little bit, and then our trajectory should be right. So what I'm gonna do is try to mock it up. All right, well, I tacked that in earlier, and then test fit kind of how the angle to dangle, made sure that everything was right. Got the line on it now. And I got the push rod in. Probably won't be able to see anything. Put the clutch pedal. It's good to go. So now what's next? Bleed the brakes. Bleed the clutch. Oh yeah, it doesn't have any brakes. That was on the list too. Okay, bleed the clutch, put the seat in, and then it should be able to drive out of here at least. So we're gonna get to bleeding the clutch now. Report back. As cool as this shifter looks, the vice grips, they're slipping and sliding, and we don't have a shifter. So, I'm thinking about building one out of this wrench, maybe. So we're gonna cut the ends off, try her out. Not too bad. All right, push the pedal.
I am. Is it moving?
Yeah, it's moving. Check and see if the clutch is gonna work.
All right.
Pull out the clutch. No, remember that brake line was leaking when we pulled in here, remember? So caught last time. The last crank.
How's that? I'm feeling it.
Oh my god, dude. We're driving a 4-speed 4-door. With no brakes. Oh my god, I hope there's nobody coming.
Ow! That's so loud.
Oh my god, look, it goes too fast. It can't stop. You got a high gear. I guess I went to 4th right there. You think I did?
Yeah, I guarantee you did.
Oh, that's all the brakes. I can't get second.
Oh, that's...
Uh-oh.
Didn't get anything. Street thing, you wanna...
It won't go into second.
I got your
What's first?
Make your clutch.
Man!
That doesn't look that bad. C-clip going in.
We did it. We got a little bit of things to work on. The line lock's not plumbed yet. The rear brakes don't work at all. They're leaking significantly. And we got a 9-inch to throw in and some other things, but I think... Oh, man. I don't know if it's going to do it for this video because I wanted to put a line lock in on this video. But
Did you see this hitch on there?
we just drove up the road back with a 4-speed, 4-door, 78 Malibu. Small block.
Hitch.
And it felt pretty good.
No, I'm good. good. I just want to try to make it.
All right, we just bolted the transmission up. Ah! You fucking hit that yourself.
That was on my head.
Anyway.
Put headers on it, old baling lineups and something like that. Do you want something with the brake?
I love that.
We're gonna edit that out. There it goes. We'll just be a second.
Dude, quit stalling it.
It starts. Oh yeah, the starter.
Starter's a little
We don't
sad.
like these sounds either.
Hang on, it's alright.